And this is something a little bit more serious, not very long. I read this sometimes when I'm reading to my writing students, or when my writing students are around, because I keep telling them to try to tell the story and not get in the way, and not try to influence the reader into a judgment, that the writer should not be judging the event. It should just be. And this was one of those turning points in my life, just a really unbelievable thing that happened. And I thought this might be a good one to share with students. And let's see, this is, it's in the middle of a chapter, so the only thing you need to know is that our daughter, Erna, was about 2 years old at the time. I think that's about all you need to know. Early in the spring, Kevin and I took Erna in her stroller to the Bronx Zoo to see a brand new baby giraffe, 6 feet tall, born a few weeks earlier. Posters all over the zoo announced the opening of a new gorilla exhibit, so we decided to wait in line. We stood in the warm sunshine among the strollers and babies and children and parents and grandparents and cotton candy and ice cream dripping everywhere and the chatter and laughter and howling, and I remembered that I'd been here once before, many, many years ago, with a boyfriend, Dennis. After a marathon 24 hours of partying with his roommates, on a Sunday morning we suddenly had the brilliant idea to drive to the Bronx Zoo. When we got to the zoo, it was terribly hot and the park was jammed with people. We went into the monkey house. This was long before they remodeled, and were hit by an ammoniac smell that could have knocked out a rhinoceros. We tried to retreat, but the crowd pushed us forward as if we were on a subway platform at rush hour. We had to keep shuffling toward the exit at the far end of the long, narrow building. The poor monkeys stared out listlessly from overlit cave-like enclosures with glass fronts. Between the gibbons and the gorillas stood a ceiling-to-floor mirror with prison bars stenciled on it, with a sign at the top that read, "The most dangerous animal on earth." Dennis and I read the bottom of the sign before being pushed on. It said something like, "There are almost 5 billion humans on planet Earth, and we are the only ones with the capability of wiping out the entire planet." Right behind us, a woman with one of those New York voices like a police siren read the top of the sign aloud. "The most dangerous animal on Earth. Gibbons," she said in wonder. "And so small. Who would have thought?" Dennis made his eyes cross so that his irises almost disappeared behind the bridge of his nose. "And we want to write literary novels," he muttered. I was overcome by such a bout of existential angst I wished I'd never been born. But here I was today with Kevin and Erna, taking in the day among the other families, and I had one of those moments of perfect joy, realizing that this was me here, just standing in a crowd. One normal mom among other normal moms and dads, part of the human race. I'd never been part of anything when I was drinking, always an outsider looking in, and none of these people knew that really I should have been dead. I had no business being among them, having been given this extraordinary reprieve, a chance at life. Finally, we stepped into the gorilla exhibit, came around a dark corner, and found ourselves in a wide, arcing glass tunnel that made us feel that we were the ones enclosed, and the gorillas were outside and free. Farther into the tunnel, a few feet from the glass and eye level with Erna, a mother gorilla was holding a tiny baby to her breast. The mother was regurgitating some kind of corn and vegetable mix and eating it again with great delicacy, a normal gorilla thing to do, but the boys just ahead of us screamed and laughed and made gross barfing sounds. Erna was too little to be grossed out, and as we approached the mother gorilla, Erna stopped and pressed both hands against the glass. I stood behind her and started talking to the gorilla as I would to an interesting foreigner with whom I had a lot in common. "Yes, you're a beautiful gorilla, and your baby is a beautiful baby. I have a baby too. See my baby?" I laid my hand on Erna's shoulder. The gorilla gazed at us for a while without expression, then ambled closer to the glass. She peered at Erna, then up at me, with bituminous eyes that seemed as wise as an old priestess's. Then she pressed both her palms against Erna's and left them there. "Oh my God, Kevin, look." I started to feel choked up. He approached behind us and slowly lowered himself to his knee on the other side of Erna. "She's saying hi," Erna said quietly, as if sensing that to move her hands or raise her voice would break the spell. Yes, I said, blinded by tears. She's saying hi to us. I sat down on the ground. You're better off here, I told the gorilla. At least you're safe, and your baby's safe. They'll feed you and they'll take good care of you. The noise of children shouting and laughing and babies crying all around us was deafening. Is she safe, Daddy? Erna asked. Yes, she's safe, Kevin said, his voice breaking. Oh, Mommy, why are you crying? Because she's so beautiful and so intelligent, and I don't understand why she's in there and we're out here. And all the while, the mother gorilla continued to gaze at us, her palms pressed against Erna's on the other side of the glass.